The views and opinions expressed by the participants on this show are not necessarily those of Stewart Information Services Corporation, Stewart Title, or Stewart Insurance. Before you make any investment, you should seek the advice of your investment advisor or attorney.
Whether you're a real estate broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, everything matters when it comes to real estate. This is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Stewart Title's Bill Knapik and guests open the door to what really matters in owning, buying, and selling real estate. And now, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance. Here to inform, entertain, and inspire, Bill Knapik.
Welcome to the show. It is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I am your host, Bill Knapik. Thank you for joining us again. A tremendous show. We have great people on the show today, as always. I do want to remind you to go to stewart.com/radio. That's right. We make a YouTube video, and you can see the video at stewart.com/radio. And you're saying, hey, what if I missed a show? No problem. Right there at stewart.com/radio. You will see all the shows for the past couple years. So thank you for joining us on Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. We're going to talk about money today. We're going to talk about home inspections and, oh yeah, of course, real estate, but we're going to focus on an area that, believe it or not, in 426 shows we have not done yet, and that is the West University area of Houston, Texas. So put your seatbelts on as Real Estate Matters begins right now with our first guest. He is Erik Maya with Cherry Creek Mortgage. Erik, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you so much for having me here. It's been an exciting but crazy time in real estate and mortgage, and I'm happy to be here and just share information and knowledge with all of our listeners today.
You mentioned the craziness of the environment right now. I don't know if it's going to get any crazier, but first, let's tell people your company is called Cherry Creek Mortgage. Let's tell people a little bit about the company.
So Cherry Creek Mortgage, we've been around for over 20 years now. I run a branch together with my wife in Kingwood. And we also have another office in the Woodlands area. Locally, we have a big part of the market share here in the area, and we just our passion, my passion, is just to educate families and to help them get into their first home or their dream home or their next home, and to make it as seamless as possible for them.
And I want to guess your wife's probably listening today. What's her name? And let's say hello to her.
Brenda Maya. Yeah, she's the backbone of the operation. She keeps everything going for us.
Let's say there's someone out there that's in the process and they're getting scared because the rates, we've seen them go up in a big way. Let's tell people about what's going on with the rate and what should people think that still want to buy, but they might be frightened by the looming rates ahead.
I want to start off by saying, hey, that having that emotion is very common. It's okay to feel it. A lot of our families feel that way. And last week, I keep up with what's going on with the rates and the market and the economy and everything. It's been 12 years. Rates are as high as they've been in the last 12 years. The good thing is that they are still historically low. If you look at the last 30 years, we just had a short period during the pandemic where the Feds decided to lower the rates, and slowly they're backing off and increasing them to stabilize the real estate market and the economy altogether. So if you're out there looking to get approved, or you're already approved and looking for a home, just you're in good company, right? It has been challenging, but just make sure that you're working with the right team to help to get you to that finish line.
And in light of the new rates, is there anything that people need to do to prepare differently? Maybe they need to move a little faster. I don't know. What would you suggest for those that want to be prepared?
That would be my number one suggestion, is to move quickly. Update if they've been looking for a while and they haven't found anything. Get updated numbers to make sure you still qualify for the amount that you originally qualified for, and if not, so that you can look at making sure that what you're qualified for is still within budget based off of the new rates, the new prices, because we know that home prices continue to go up. And most importantly, to work with a great team, a great real estate agent, a great inspector, a great lender that's local, that's going to help you win offers, because it does us no good to help someone get pre-approved for a home and not help them get all the way to the finish line to when they get their keys.
One of the things that I've noticed about you, you spoke at our Stewart Title sales meeting just a few weeks ago, did a tremendous job of enlightening us about some of the basics that we should already know. It was good to be reminded, and you gave us some new ideas in terms of marketing. But let's tell people, your company has so many great distinctions, but you yourself, I've noticed, also have some tremendous distinctions that you do to help the community, the real estate community, even title companies like Stewart. So let's tell people what you do in the event that they may want you to say, hey, Erik, come and speak to our group.
My passion started off 20 years ago with helping families get into their homes by educating them on what it's going to take to get there. Now the question is, hey, what are my real estate agent partners struggling with? So that's my approach every single week and every single day, is thinking about what's their biggest struggle, what's our client's biggest struggle, and what am I going to do to help them get there? So what I do is I educate real estate agents on, hey, this is what I'm seeing that works to win offers. We're pre-underwriting files to get them fully approved before they make offers. We're closing quickly. We're shortening our time frame. So I educate the real estate community on what's working and what's not working to help us win more often than not. And I took that and took it to your office and had that same presentation with all of your reps to help them as they're helping other agents, so that way we can reach more people in the community.
And you're helping people grow their business, and in turn, they help you grow yours.
Correct.
That's a good deal.
Correct. That's my approach is, hey, how can I help you so that we can grow this thing together, so that we can serve and help more families together?
Being in the audience at that time, as you know, one of the things I discovered is that not just some of the details that you brought forth, some of the ideas, but the bottom line through it all, they were very systematic. And I'm going to guess just the systematic systems and procedures that you use to grow your business are also the things that you're teaching others. And those things actually work, don't they?
They do, because when you look at mortgages and real estate, historically it hasn't been that structured, right? It hasn't been very organized. So we're entrepreneurs, right? We're small business owners, just like a lot of other small businesses. So it's on us to create those systems and processes and to share those with our peers for the benefit of the client, to help the real estate agents grow their business, to help title companies grow their business, but at the end of the day also to help that client get to the end goal, to get their keys in their hands, and to do it as smoothly and as easily as possible. Even though we know that there's so many variables out there, we have to do our part, and what can we do to get organized and structured to make that happen for them.
We're talking with Erik Maya with Cherry Creek Mortgage. Now, there were so many things that you brought forth in your presentation, Erik, but give us an idea, someone listening out there, maybe a marketing idea or two for realtors that are out there.
Yeah, so we know the biggest struggle right now is inventory. So what I'm doing is, and what I'm sharing with my real estate agent partners as well, is to build deeper relationships with your past clients. Families are going to buy and sell every 5 to 7 years on average. So you want to stay top of mind with them, stay present with them, stay engaged with them, build a deep relationship with them. So when it comes to buying or selling on their own, or for someone that they know, for the 20 or 30 friends that they know, so they can think of you so that you can help the market have more inventory and help them get into their home and help buyers find a home of their own. So that's the thing that I've been focusing on more so lately. Because of that lack of inventory, is just, hey, focus on your past client database. Your database is your gold mine, right? And if you do a good job for them, they're going to continue to refer you for years to come.
As far as some of and in the mortgage world, there are different kinds of mortgages. But before we get to that, I want you to hit upon the different kinds. But it also strikes me at this moment to say, as far as down payments, just out of curiosity, in the last 10 mortgages that you have done, what's the average down payment that people are putting down out of 10? 10%. 10%. There you go. 10%
is the average, because we have things are always changing, right? And I have clients that are a lot of clients that are selling a home to buy another one because I've been doing it for 20 years, and they're saying, I'm going to put 20% down because I'm going to get the best rate. That's the difference between working with a professional and working with a big online lender or somebody else, is that may not always be the best options. I look at, hey, if you do 15 or 10%, you could get a lower rate and have a lower payment than if you put more money down. So we customize the loan based off of their specific goals, their specific situation to get them the best terms possible. But it's 10%. That's the long answer, the short answer.
So let's say someone wants to buy a home, let's say August 1st. For whatever reason, they're saying, I'm going to need a home in August. When should they see you, the mortgage professional, to start the process?
Right now, you have to be prepared. I always say 6 months is a great starting point. And I don't even mind talking to clients that are looking in a year from now. That way I can educate them and give them that game plan on, hey, if you're going to buy a year from now, hey, let's talk about your situation. Let's assess it so that you can be ready in a year so that you don't have to sign another lease or do something different. Or you might stumble upon an open house over the weekend on a home that you love. And if you're not already pre-approved, by Monday, it's probably going to be gone.
Be prepared is always good advice.
Be prepared.
And of all the things you could be doing, here you are, you're in the mortgage world doing tremendous work all the time. Of all the things you could be doing, why is it that you found yourself in the money world and helping people with mortgages?
We might have to do another show. I'll give you the really short answer.
Answer.
My grandmother raised me. And when I turned 18, she said, hey, I'm going back to Mexico. I've already raised you. You're a man. You got to go buy a house. You got to find a place to stay. And I bought my first home at 18. And as I was going through the process, I got recruited into it. And her pushing me out into the world and making me be responsible and be independent, it was part of God's plan. That's how I got here.
In the meantime, before we close the segment, Erik Maya with Cherry Creek Mortgage. What else do you want people to know, Erik?
I want people to know that to not give up and to not wait because, like you mentioned earlier, there's more people that want to be in homes than actual homes. The last stat that I read was 10-1. The feds have already said that rates are going to go up, so the longer you wait, the more it's going to cost you. Just make sure that you're prepared and that you have the right team by your side, and you'll get to that finish line. You'll own your own home.
No one knows the future, but if you were to speculate, knowing what you do know, what would your guess be? How long is this going to last, where there's going to be the demand for inventory like it is, and of course the rates are going higher? What do you think is going to happen by the end of the year? Prediction.
So, being that I've done this for 20 years, and what I've read on it, I expect it to be going on for the next 2 to 3 years. At least. And the reason I tell people, hey, it's still a great time to buy because if you lock in a price now and an interest rate now, you still lock in that price. So if you wait a year or two, you're going to pay a lot more, right? So waiting is not going to help you. However, if rates happen to drop at some point down the road, which they will, there's always the opportunity to refinance. So do one of the two great things, which is lock in that price, and you can always refinance on the road. And if rates go up, then you've already locked in a pretty good rate. And
let's tell people, Erik, how they can reach you.
Reach me on my cell, 832-724-0757. 832-724-0757.
And they can also reach you there if they need you to speak at their group, too. And you can give them information about that.
Yes. Yeah, also, if you guys need me to come out and help and speak at a group, I'd love to do so as well.
There you go. Thank you so much, Erik Maya with Cherry Creek Mortgage. Thanks, Erik.
Thank you.
Let's talk real estate now with Maggie Garza. She's with Compass. Maggie, welcome to the show.
Hi, Bill. How are you today?
Well, it's great. And Sita Youngblood gave us your name. She said, you got to have Maggie on the show. Here you are. So representing Compass, but also you have a real estate team. Let's tell people about that.
Yes. So we have a real estate team. We're the HTX Real Estate Group. There are 6 of us, and we provide staging. We will help you get your home ready to sell. We do a lot of things as well as sell real estate. We want to make sure that our clients' bases are all covered. And fortunately, the 6 of us work really well together. Some of us live in West U, some of us live in Bel Air, but as a team, we are fantastic, and we kind of cover all bases and make sure that all of our clients feel that they are being served well and that their needs are taken care of.
Well, they're having a team, and you're talking about staging too.
Yes.
So
yes.
that's part of the arrangement.
That is part of the arrangement.
Wow.
If someone needs some home staging, we will do.
Who doesn't almost?
Well, who doesn't? But right now, we're probably doing a little less staging because the market is so competitive. However, I will say that staging does sell a property quickly, and as well as increase the end result, which might be a higher price if you can sell a home. It always looks better to have a home with furniture in it as opposed to an empty home. And then, or we can move around your furniture, maybe edit some things, bring in a few pieces. The market is great, but at the same time, it's the presentation, and we want to make sure that we present your home in the best light to get you the maximum dollar. And then we also help people buy houses too. So we sell and buy.
So, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, all these shows that we've never really had someone focus on Westview. So let's do that. You're an expert. You live there. Mm-hmm. You help sellers and buyers there. So let's talk about Westview. And first, here in Houston, people have heard of Westview. They still may not understand the nuances. However, if someone's listening from afar on the internet, tell us about Westview.
So West University Place is its own little neighborhood with its own city within the city of Houston. So back in the 1920s, West University Place was started in Houston. If you can believe this or not, if you look at a map, we're almost in the center of Houston, or West University Place is in the center of Houston. But when Houston back in the 20s did not want to take power poles out to West University Place, which seems amazing to me now.
Way out there.
Way out there in the heart in the heart of Houston now. But anyway, so that in the 20s they kind of did their own incorporation, and then sometime around the 40s, Westview did not want to be incorporated into the city of Houston, so they created their own city charter, and here we are. They have their own police, they have their own fire, so we also have our own tax rate, which is separate than our property tax rate, I should say. Property tax rate, which is actually lower than the city of Houston, lower than the city of Bel Air. Yeah, so
I didn't know that was lower.
It is lower. So the property tax rate in the city of Westview is almost like 0.30 per $100, and city of Houston's tax rate is 0.56 per 100, and then Bel Air's is 0.43 per $100. So, and part of that, the reason why Westview can tax at such a low tax rate is that our property values are so high because we're so centrally located. So they have higher dollar property values. The city itself doesn't need, I guess, I'm sure they could differentiate and say they would like to have more money, but they're kind enough to say we'll pass our savings on to our residents. And so the city services, they keep it pretty simple and pretty clean, but at the same time, we have a full police force. They have a virtual city. So there's gates and cameras if you're driving down certain parts of Houston. If at any point you enter into the property of Westview proper, you at some point will go through a virtual camera and they'll see your license plate if it's a stolen car or if you've, done some kind of mischief or activity. Odds are you're probably going to be caught in West University Place. So the response time with the police department is probably less than 5 minutes. It's pretty impressive when you live in a city like Houston, which I love Houston. I have been here for over 20 years now. I did not grow up in Houston, but it's just an extra kind of benefit to being in that small little town and small little town of Westview within this big city of Houston. So, and it has lots of restaurants in it, lots of walkability, great schools, which are HISD schools. So it's still part of Houston per se, but it's its own city. So
sounds like it has a lot of advantages, and they're running a tight ship.
They are. I would love to plug our city council, and it's partisan politics aside. I think they're just doing a great job, and I have no complaints. I've lived there for almost 12 years now. We sold one house, built another house, kind of having a good time living in Westview, and love being a neighbor with all my other neighbors. So, but It's a good market to be in. If you look at the history of Westview from 5 years ago to this last year, your home values have increased probably $100,000 on average in a 5-year period, which you just can't get those kind of returns on most houses. And the market, most houses stay on the market less than 26 days. It's a great place to be.
And it's funny, you mentioned earlier property taxes, and I was in River Oaks last night for a variety of reasons and went to an event there. But as I drove around, I was a little bit early for my appointed time, and I had some time to kill, so I drove around, and that's one of the things, other than looking at nice homes and all, I'm thinking, what about the taxes they're paying?
Yeah, and then it is big. I mean, I have a listing in River Oaks right now, and I love River Oaks. It's a beautiful neighborhood. And
it's a higher tax rate.
It is a higher tax rate because the homes are higher, but they're centrally located, and most of those homes are on at least half an acre or a quarter of an acre. I guess it depends on what part of River Oaks you're in. But yeah, taxes are everything, and now we used to be able to write off our taxes.
That's right, only up to 10,000,
yeah,
right?
Now it's 10,000. So that kind of was like a little gut punch to everybody. But, we all have to pay for our services, and somehow I'm not going to get into the politics of any of that because that's beyond my pay grade.
Well, in the meantime.
But I can talk about the tax rate when someone's buying a home in Houston.
Well, and that's a nice advantage, but they do have a lot of advantages there in Westview. As far as inventory right now, let's say there's someone that was thinking of buying a home maybe somewhere else, and they say, wait a minute, I just heard Maggie Garza with Compass just a few seconds ago describing a beautiful place with some advantages. So they want to buy a home in Westview. Do you have any for sale?
I have one right now that is actually under contract, and it goes under contract so quickly. Actually, that one, well, it went under contract before we even opened the door.
There you go.
I mean, so it's a very competitive time to be in Westview, but thankfully we as realtors do our best. We want to give everyone an opportunity to see these homes. I think it just depends on what price range. Right now, the average price range in Westview is probably $1.4 million. You can find stuff a little less than $1 million. It's just where you are in Westview and what size lot it's on. You're right next to Rice University in the heart of Houston, so you kind of pay for location, and that's what you're getting.
And the medical center, too.
Yes, the medical center's right there. I love the neighborhood. It's a great place to be. It's worth the investment if you can make the investment.
It's a solid investment for years to come, I would say. It's one of those places.
It is never, I think if there's ever time to invest in something, Westview is a great place to make that investment. It stays pretty stable. I've never seen a really big dip in Westview as far as home values. Can't complain about it at all.
NRG Stadium?
Yes, right down the road. There's a couple of different athletes, some football players that have lived in Westview, some coaches, basketball coaches, football coaches, other people like that. So you do have your local celebrities walking their dogs in the neighborhood too.
So you've talked about a lot of features. Let's talk about one of the other things is the charm of Westview.
Yes.
You can drive through it. It's charming. Let's describe that a little bit for someone that may not know about it, Maggie.
So Westview has a whole lot of public parks, which are great. There's a Parks and Rec department. So we have a Colonial Park and Pool, has a great swimming pool that everyone can join for $150 for the summer. But then if you want to swim year-round, they have their own indoor swimming pool and rec center, and you can have a family membership there. Again, there's access to everything that you could want. They have senior services. If you're over the age of 65, they'll help you with different things, or you need a ride to the doctor's office, they'll pick you up. I don't know if most people know what Mayberry is, but it's got that
I do.
Okay. Well, some of us are older than younger than others, but
John Bramblett knows.
Okay. Well, Mayberry, if you know Mayberry, it kind of has that Mayberry feel. There's an ice cream shop and a cookie place in the heart of town. So, it's really special, and I wish everyone could come see it, and I wish everyone could live in a Mayberry type place, and hopefully you do. If you can live in Houston and afford to live in Westview, I highly recommend it, because thankfully it has been a great place to raise my family. I have 3 boys, and you kind of get to know all your neighbors with Little League or softball and all that stuff.
And you make the reference of a TV show, Mayberry. The other thing I was thinking of early on when you described the police department, your own, it was almost like maybe in a different way, but Beverly Hills. Beverly Hills has their own police department within the city of Los Angeles. So I guess that's a cool thing.
Yeah.
You're selling real estate for how many years now?
10 years now. So thankfully, it's been a really good 10 years, and I cannot complain. I fell into real estate because my father sells ranches across Texas, and he just kind of pushed me along and said, you need to do this. You'd be really good at it. So here I am, and loving every minute of it, and thankfully have repeat clients and a lot of referrals, and that it is a great, just what Erik was saying, you have to build your business, and it's off of those relationships that you build.
And last I heard, ranch sales are going pretty well, too.
You can have my dad on it another time.
We'll check him out.
Yeah. He'll love to talk ranches. The HTX group is here to help you guys anywhere in Houston. We have listings out in Missouri City. We have listings in River Oaks. We have listings in Bel Air. We have listings in Westview. We will help you buy or sell. Our ultimate goal is to build those relationships and make sure that from start to finish that we get you guys in your home, wherever that is.
And I want to say hi to Sherry Fama with Compass, too.
Yes.
She's awesome, isn't she?
I love Sherry, and I've worked with her previously at another brokerage, so it's been nice for us to be back at Compass together.
Maggie Garza. Let's tell people how they can reach you, Maggie.
You can reach me at 832-259-2990. And again, it's Maggie Garza with Compass HTX Real Estate Group, and it's 832-259-2990.
Thank you, Maggie.
Thank you.
It's time to talk home inspections. He's here, Dave Hite with Hite Tech Inspections. Dave, welcome to the show.
I appreciate you having me on, Bill.
I should say the inspector is in the house.
In the house, without a doubt.
And one of the things, you have many distinctions at your company. There's a lot of home inspection companies out there. But first of all, your company, Hite Tech Inspections. Let's tell people about what you do.
So Hite Tech, which is using my name is Dave Hite.
Hite.
So,
yes.
So we did that to go, but people do confuse us with Hite Tech. But we specialize in using a lot of technology. So we'll go in. Home inspections has been a place that has not really wanted to use technology. So we've gone in with just the opposite idea. We want to use as much technology as we can to give you as much information. We do infrared, which is a great tool. It is amazing what you can find with infrared. For example, in a vacant home, when we go in and inspect, we turn, if it's a 2-story, we turn the water on for about 45 minutes to an hour. We want it to run because if you have a slow leak in the piping up there, nobody's been living there. They haven't been using the shower. They haven't been using any of the sinks, so it would be dry. You'd not be able to see the leaks. So we allow it to run for 45 minutes to an hour, and the infrared will pick that up if you have a slow leak under your shower pan, if your sink has a slow leak, anything in the drain piping. Now, in your supply piping, which is what brings the water in, you would always have moisture there, but your drain piping is a little bit trickier. We also have drones, but even other than the drone, which this is the part I like. So the drones, because drones are very limited in a roof inspection. It's
sure.
It's a great thing. We have them, we use them, but it's very limiting. We want to walk the roof because you cannot feel a soft spot. You really can't get in and see the intricacies of the roof. But what we do, and the drones are also limited. If it's raining, my drone is $1,200. Or it's going to rain, I'm not going to put it up in the sky if it's too windy. Also, if you have a lot of buildings close, you can have radio interference with that. You have to get FAA certifications to do the drone, and they have zones you can't fly it in. So what did we do? We do have the drones, but we also have a Wi-Fi waterproof camera that we have on a pole. So even during a rainstorm, you still get a roof inspection because we want to make sure nobody likes it, right? When you go in and you tell the client, hey, one of the top 3 items on your home, your roof, your foundation, and your HVAC, one of the 3 we couldn't really inspect. Nobody likes that. So we never tell people that because we have a pole camera that will then allow us to see it. Even in the driving rain, we can go up and we can see your roof. So we get a chance to do that. And one other thing we have that no one in the city has that I'm aware of is we have a drone. I live in the Heights, so I love Pier and Beam, one of my favorite types of homes because it's so flexible. In Pier and Beam, I also rehab and flip homes, so I'm very familiar with how it's put together. But in Pier and Beam, if I want to put my kitchen at the front of the house, in the back of the house, the side of the house, doesn't matter. I can change the piping and put anything where I want. Well, so Pier and Beam, you want to get under the house. Now, I don't know about you, Bill, but I don't want to climb under that house.
It's not my first thing to do. There might be a snake under there or something, or who knows what else.
And you can't get out quickly. Doesn't matter what you come face to face with.
So you're just looking at the snake.
Exactly.
And he's sizing you up, or she, I don't know.
And I live in a Pier and Beam house, so I know what lives under there. I have no desire to get under the house. So what we've done is we have a drone. Now, it doesn't fly. Most people are like, how do you fly the drone underneath the house? Well, it doesn't fly. It's actually a robot that goes underneath. And we can film the
Blade
entire... Exactly. We can film the entire underside of the house.
Love it.
So we're able to get in, and it also requires a lot less space. So you can get in a 12-inch by 7-inch clearance space, which I'm not going to get through there.
12 by 7. So it's getting where you couldn't go even if you wanted to go.
Exactly. So we can get back in those areas where a human couldn't physically get to.
What do you call these drones? Do they have a name?
It's a robot.
Crawling.
Okay. It's an under-house drone, and so we're also able to use that inside a house. If there's a place you can't get to that's blocked by something, we can use it inside there. So they're very useful. We depend a lot on our technology. We have moisture meters that penetrate 3 inches deep inside so that we can see if there's any moisture hidden back behind the wall. So it penetrates behind there. So we spend a lot of money. Our guys are equipped with a lot of technology. We spend a lot of money on that, but we feel like you get a much better inspection from that, and then it translates to our reports. Our reports are very easy to read. They come in. They're as easy to read on your phone as they are on the computer, and we use very plain language. So we don't want to get super technical because people don't understand it. And we want them to make sure and understand the reports. So our technology not only extends to the processes we use in the house, it extends to the report as well as you can schedule online. You can go in on our website and see what we have available. So before, when you're looking at doing an offer, since option periods are so short these days, you know what is available to do that. So we also keep our staffing we keep our staffing high because now it's 2-3 day options are pretty common, pretty typical. So we want to make sure you can get an inspection. If you call us today, we should be able to get you in tomorrow or the next day.
That quick?
Absolutely. We keep our staffing. Now, when we train our staffing, super important, no one goes out on their own before they've done 100 inspections with a master inspector. We don't want you to have an experience where you get one. I love inspecting houses. I look at every building I go into. It's just a habit. You see it, and it's something I enjoy doing. But I want to make sure I don't send anybody out to your house that is not super highly qualified, and you're not going to get the best inspection you can have.
So when you look at a house and you're just showing up for a party, your inspector mode is always on, and you're seeing things with inspector eyes that most of us don't see. Unbelievable. I love that. I
do, and I love. Lots of friends will have me come over because they have issues at the house and with the houses. But being that I rehab and flip homes, and we don't work on anything that we inspect, so we keep away from any conflicts of interest. But I know intricately how houses are supposed to be built, how the load paths that are supposed to be present. So a great deep understanding of how homes operate.
It also sounds like at your home inspection, you and or your team, they're doing more work. Maybe they're there a little longer, but it sounds like a very thorough inspection. Does it cost more?
It does not. We are right in the middle. We're not high. We're not low. An average inspection is around $495, which is pretty typical. But we also offer other services, so it's an easy way. We do the drones, we have the sewer cameras, we do pool inspections, termites, we have the Wi-Fi pole camera, we do mold, so you can get almost every inspection you need
by calling you.
Exactly. It's super easy, and then it's all on one report, so you have it there where you can go back and reference it. If the homeowner or the seller has had any repairs done, There's a way to attach that to our inspection report. We don't certify it, but we attach it so you have those records in one location. If you have an electrician come out and give you an estimate, they can email it to us. We want to make sure you have a place where you can go back and refer to anything in your home when you first purchased it.
We're talking with Dave Hite, Hite Tech Inspections. How's business right now, Dave?
Well, business is going really well if you can get out in the next day or two. I mean, if somebody calls today and we say, well, 4 days from now, we can inspect, you don't get any business. It's very difficult today, but it is faster than it has been building. Last year, we were up about 50%. This year, we're up about 35% over that year. So it continues to grow. We're super happy with how it's going in Houston. We'd love, though, for a few more days on the option period, but it is what it is. I mean, the agents have to work with it. We have to work with it as well.
As far as technology looking ahead, do you see other things that you might be doing? It sounds like you have a full arsenal, maybe more than most, of things that you can do and things you can inspect using all these tools. What do you see coming down the road, if anything? Because technology is like everything else. It's always changing.
It is always changing, and it seems to be pretty expensive when it comes out. But one of the things we're working on, we don't see any tools right now. That we're always looking for new tools, new ways to do a better inspection. But one of the things we're working on right now, because Houston is such a multicultural city, we are working on, and we think we're going to have it by the end of the summer, a way to translate all of our inspection reports into about 155 languages. We'll be able to send you a translated report, because there are a lot of individuals in Houston that English isn't their first language. Now, English would be the official reports, but they'd be able to have it to where it'd be much more, it'd be much better understanding. Now, because I personally have purchased 2 homes in Colombia in the country, it is incredibly scary to come from another country, because you understand the rules and regulations there, but you don't understand how it operates in the country you're in. For example, in Colombia, if I want to buy your house,
you still have those homes?
I do. I have 2, and I'm actually buying another one this week. I love it.
Real quick, though, before not to interrupt, but to interrupt you, why? It's a big world, Dave. Why Colombia? Just curious.
I love Colombia, and in Medellin is the average temperature is 80 to 60 all year round. So it's beautiful. It's called the City of Eternal Spring. The people are friendly. It's not as humid as Houston is. And so they don't build, typically when you build a home, you don't include heat or AC in Colombia.
If you didn't need that, that would be ideal. That's almost like Laguna Beach, California.
Yeah, and can you imagine how much less expensive it would be to not have to maintain that? So beautiful place. And the food is fabulous. Medellin is a metropolitan city about the size of Houston. Super safe, and the jungle is all around you. So I love going there. So, but
we'll talk after the show. But go back to the humidity. I know that here in Houston, I got to ask this because it's humid here, and
it is.
And when people I've heard, and even in my own inspections years ago, they say, well, the inspector could only do so much to know if your AC is okay or not. Like they could put the thing up in the vent to see the temperature. They can look at it. They can't take it apart and all these sorts of things.
You cannot open it up. I mean, it is a non-invasive. Now, I'll tell you, we do try to take it. We take it steps further because we want to make sure the first thing we do, especially here in Houston when we get there, is we turn the AC all the way down. Now, people believe that the farther I turn my AC down, the harder it works. That is not true. ACs we have here in America. Now, there are variable ACs that do that. We don't install them here. So when AC here is either on or it's off, but we want to make sure it runs the entire time we're there so we can see if it pauses, shuts off, ices up. We want to make sure that throughout the process that it operates correctly. We also, with the infrared, now the technical way of inspecting an AC is you're supposed to uncover the coil and test the temperature there. But I don't know about you, Bill. I don't really care how cold it is at the coil. I care how cold it is at my house.
Right.
And so we go through, we test, and we measure the temperature at every register throughout the house. So we can also tell you, is it balanced correctly? Are you going to have hot spots in your house? Because those are the things that matter to people.
And by the way, next week I won't be here. Dave and I will be looking for properties in Columbia. I want to go where we don't need AC, but thank you so much for being on the show. Let's tell people how they can reach you, Dave Hite at Hite Tech Inspections.
All right, so you can either call us at 832-477-0367. Again, that's 832-477-0367. Or if you want to look at the services we offer as well as see people on video reviews talking about their inspections, you can go to www.hitetechinspections.com. That's HITETECH inspections.com.
By the way, if you enjoyed Dave's information, there's a lot. We're only scratching the surface. A regular contributor on another real estate show. Check it out Saturday, the Real Estate Rat Pack. Dave's there almost all the time. realestateratpack.com. We say hi to Chris and Rob. Dave, thanks for being on the show. Your phone number again is
832-477-0367.
Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you, Bill.
Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title would not be possible without our partner Stewart Insurance. With a focus in real estate and a special focus on real estate brokers, Stewart Insurance creates insurance plans to address the risks facing our industry today. They invest a significant amount of time helping real estate broker owners offset and manage their risks. Here he is, John Bramblett with Stewart Insurance. John.
Hello, Bill. Always a pleasure.
Interesting show as always today.
Fantastic show.
We never know what we're going to hear. That's what I love about it, and I hope the listeners do too.
Oh, I think that's why people come back and back to listen to us every Sunday on KPRC 950 AM at 5 o'clock Central, or catch us at stewart.com/radio or the iHeartMedia app.
What should we talk about today?
Well, we spent a lot of time over the last several months talking about ransomware and the issues that it has with cyber crime. But we haven't discussed as much recently about email scams, and I wanted to talk a little bit about that because they haven't gone away, and they're still a critical element that I think potentially could even affect our listeners more so than ransomware.
Email is everywhere. We get emails all the time, and it seems like every once in a while there's always somebody new sending me emails. I don't know who they are. How did I get on their list?
Absolutely. So, technically it's called a business email compromise. And the reason I think it could affect, our listeners, because, some of our title agents and all, or independent attorneys that listen, they deal with funds, but for the most part, our real estate brokers don't. But they still could be taken advantage of by these business mail compromises where they basically, a fraudster will hack in to your email, pretend that they're somebody that they're not, and either get you to transfer funds to a fraudulent account, or they'll get you to purchase something that you shouldn't. So think about, you get an email it looks like an email from your boss with, your broker, and he says, hey, we're out of signs for our new sales. We need to go buy some new signs. So purchase the signs from XYZ company. And XYZ company is fraudulent, and you send them $10,000 for new signs. Boom. You're out of that money. The thing that's sad about these business email compromises, the BEC, is it affects everybody. It's Fortune 500 companies. It is small town firms. The U.S. State Department was hit recently for over $200,000. So if the U.S. State Department can get hit, Bill and John's brokerage firm in Westview can get hit, or Bill and John's in Kingwood could get hit.
That's the thing. The email seems like it's been, when we've had FBI agents on the show at different times, and different agents, by the way, that seems to be one of the big things. Emails are everywhere. We all have sometimes several email accounts. That seems to be the way they get in to get money wherever they are on their computers, trying to get in through our email, hoping we make a mistake and take the bait.
Yeah, even with the ransomware, they start with the email. So that business email compromise is the issue. They talked about the damages in the U.S. in 2021 were $2.4 billion, 33% increase over 2020. The other thing that's even more disturbing is they believe that most of these compromises that take place aren't even reported. That people just eat the funds and go forward. But something along the lines of 128 to about 300,000 is the average damage. So let's go half of the 128. So if you got hit for $64,000 where somebody stole that money from you through a business email compromise, could your firm survive? How much damage would that do long term to your business if somebody hit you for $64,000 right out of the bat?
So what should we do to prevent this and prepare and be ready?
Well, the first thing is what you said, is be observant. Is it something I've seen before? If it's not something that I've seen before, maybe it is something wrong. Always confirm receipt of an email or any type of transaction or directions over the phone. Don't reply to the email, because many times they have control over it, so the fraudster is still in communication with you. When you confirm over the phone, find the original source of the phone number, not a phone number off the email. Things we've talked about, multi-faceted authentication to make sure that it's truly an authentic email can help. So those are a variety of things that you can do to try to prevent, but the most important is just be observant. And if it kind of smells bad or doesn't look good, then it probably isn't. And that's when you need to confirm. The other that you can do would be to have the proper amount of cyber coverage. So if you are hit, then you're not absorbing all of that penalty yourself, all of that cost yourself.
Stewart Insurance, I bet you have cyber coverage.
We do. We work with a variety of firms to help our clients, whether they be independent title and attorney agents, real estate brokers, or property management firms, with their cyber coverage, so that when it happens, and likelihood it's going to, that we've minimized whatever that potential damage can be.
And not only that, people listening right here at the time of broadcast, they may be driving up and down I-45, 59, I-10. You can help them. But also, if someone's listening on the internet, I don't know, in Kentucky, I saw a Georgia license plate this morning. You can help people out in the United States outside of Houston.
Absolutely. We work with firms that are in the real estate industry, as I said, independent title and attorney agents, real estate brokers, property management firms, mortgage bankers, for their business insurance, whether it be cyber or errors and omissions, workers' compensation, general liability, business owners' plans. We work with them on those. We also work with those individuals and help them with their home and auto and wind and flood. We work with their clients on their personal insurance as well.
How about that drone that goes under the building? I love that. That's the first time we heard about that on this show. That's 426 shows.
I don't remember many discussions about robots, so
I think that'd be fun just to play around with it. Just saying, before we close the segment, John.
Maybe Mr. Hite will hire you on.
There you go. That'd be my part-time job.
You'll be the inspector down in Columbia with this new company down in Columbia doing home inspections.
Well, first I'm going to get there. I'm going to explore that.
Well, if you want to be properly insured, and all that really means is that you understand what coverage you're taking on, what responsibilities you're taking on versus the responsibilities you're placing on the insurance company, and you're comfortable with those decisions, then in our mind, you're properly insured, that you've taken the time to understand, what your needs are, and taken the time to understand what you're willing to take on yourself versus place on the insurance company. If that's important to you, then let's have a conversation, whether it be your business insurance or your personal insurance.
And your team is working day in and day out, and they can be reached at
866-798-2827. That's 866-798-2827. If they'd like to learn more, they can visit us at stewartinsurance.com or email us at stewartinsurance@stewart.com.
Thank you, John, for being on the show once again. I could hardly wait to see what we talk about next week.
Thanks, Bill. I appreciate it.
He's back as we wind up the show. Erik Maya with Cherry Creek Mortgage. Erik, welcome back.
Glad to be back. A few quick things before we finish up. There's a team behind me. It's not just me here on the radio today. It takes a village to get somebody to the finish line. So with my team, every client has a direct line access to reach the person that's working on their loan, to where they never have to call a 1-800 number. They get a regular update from my team. And even after closing, if they have any questions or need anything, then me and my team are there for them, number one. Secondly, technology. We talked about technology earlier.
Yeah.
That is key. We had to adapt and overcome overnight when COVID started. So now it doesn't matter if the client's in West U and Galveston, wherever, we can hop on a Zoom call and go over the loan terms. They can fill out their application and upload their documents online. And we have awesome technology to where they can compare several loan options side by side so that they know which one is the best for their particular needs. And we talked about the biggest struggle for real estate agents. So my commitment to realtors and clients is, hey, because you're working with me, we're going to help you win offers. What that means is that, hey, we're going to pre-underwrite your file. We're going to get you fully approved. That way, when you're making offers, all we need is title and appraisal to help you stand out. We can do a 10-day close because we have everything in-house to help you close quickly. I offer sellers, hey, if we don't perform on time, I offer them on-time closing guarantees to help my buyers win more often than not. So these are the times to where you have to stand out and do all those extra things. Do that. We work 10 times as hard to help our buyers and our agents win.
That sounds good to me, Erik. Let's tell people how they can reach you.
The best way on my cell phone, 832-724-0757. 832-724-0757.
Thank you so much, Erik Maya. And now she is back, Maggie Garza with Compass Real Estate. Maggie, welcome back to the show. I think we got people interested, those that weren't already interested in Westview.
Well, it's a great hometown feel in a big city.
Kind of like Mayberry.
Yeah, a little bit like Mayberry. But myself, my team, we would love to help anyone, whether you're buying or selling, or even if you're just coming to town and you're looking and want to explore Westview, just call us. We would love to show you around, tell you our favorite parts about the city, whether it's the senior services, the Westview Library, the Parks and Rec Department, or Milk and Cookies, the ice cream shop that's owned by Tiny's, which is in the heart of town. They have so many things to offer, but the city itself is fantastic, and it's my neighbors that really sell the city itself. I can't be more thankful for that. Again, we're here to help you, HTX Real Estate Group. Maggie Garza is me. You can call me at 832-259-2990. Again, 832-259-2990. Thank you so much, Bill, for the opportunity.
And I was going to say, right before you mentioned the ice cream shop, I was going to say, if I'm looking at homes, I want a trip to the ice cream shop with you as we look maybe in between homes. You think we can manage that?
We can manage that, and there's little mats, and they sell slushies, so and lots of candy. You can have milk, cookies, you can have everything you want and stay within Westview.
Real quick. Buyers that you've helped recently, how many came from outside of Houston or outside of Texas?
I have a buyer right now that's coming in from Oregon, so we're under contract. But yeah, I would say 50-50.
Maggie Garza, the number again is?
832-259-2990.
Dave Hite, Hite Tech Inspections. Dave, as we wind things up, what else should we know? What's the website, real quick?
It is www.Hite.Tech Inspections. That's HITETECH inspections.com. So we also give our reports are done same day, so you'll receive them that evening so that you can get through and go through all the items that are important to you. I would love the Houston area's help. We are absolutely wanting to add two critical aspects to our inspection company this year. We are looking for a full fluent bilingual individual in English and Vietnamese and English and Spanish. We are currently have an individual training for English and Mandarin. So we'd like to be able to offer the Houston area bilingual inspectors. So great inspections. Our motto is great inspections, great customer service, and giving back. Giving back is a super important part of our business. We love to give back to the community. So if you have a great cause, we'd love to hear from you for that as well.
And by the way, I can be silent in 7 languages. Dave, let's tell people again how they can reach you.
Fabulous. So you can either call 832-477-0367. That's 832-477-0367, or look us up on the web at www.HiteTechInspections.com.
And thank you all for being with us, and thank you all for listening to Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I am your host, Bill Knapik, together with John Bramblett, Tom Carpentier, Larry Warren, Justin Ramirez. Thank you all for listening. Simply go to Stewart.com/radio. That's right, you can hear and see the guests right here at Stewart.com/radio, and we will see you again next week.